What's up YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Now, today's video is a little off topic. I actually want to talk about why 3-on-3 Freestyle is better than most games. Now, most games I played Dead by Daylight, I played Texas Chainsaw Massacre, those games aren't bad. I mean, if I'm being completely honest, they're freaking horrible, but I just want to tell you guys why 3-on-3 Freestyle was the best game of 2025, especially since December's coming up and New Year's might be coming around the corner, kind of just wanted to, talk about why 3-on-3 Freestyle is the best game ever that I've ever played in my entire life. Number one, the reason why 3-on-3 Freestyle is the best game is that no team is going to have an unfair advantage, everybody's gonna be, so like for example, you got Texas Chainsaw Massacre where you got family and you got victims, so family would usually have the advantage because they work as a team. Victims would be more overpowered, but still, like I said, then you got Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight has a killer and they got 4 survivors. By far, survivors would have the advantage because they get mics and all that. Dead by Daylight killers would have to be put at a disadvantage. But when it comes to 3-on-3 Freestyle, nobody's put at a disadvantage, bro. And why I say that is because the game has, pretty decent matchmaking. So, I mean, it is kind of 50-50 in what teammates you get, but nobody's put at a unfair disadvantage because, you got certain characters or certain killers are going to throw the game off. Everything is balanced in this game, it's not unbalanced where, one side's more powerful than the other, because every side's going to be balanced, man. That's why 3-on-3 Freestyle is the best game, because it is well-rounded, it is well-balanced. Overall, it is number 2. The second reason why I say 3-on-3 Freestyle was the best game I ever played is it involved teamwork. Now some people don't really like it, but I think that playing with teammates can be pretty fun, especially if they actually know what they're doing and actually can carry you. Just working as a team is pretty fun. I like, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you work with your fellow family members, and the same thing when you play Dead by Daylight, you work with fellow survivors. This time you got teammates, Number 3 on why I like this game, it's got roles, so everybody has a role to fulfill. I think that makes the game very fun. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you got roles too, where one person has to fulfill a role, otherwise, things would go crazy. Same thing with Dead by Daylight. Overall, the role system in this game is really nice. So, like, you got big man, you got a point guard, and you got someone who can score the ball, and that's literally it. Number 4, I like the cartoonish style. I like how fast paced it is. I like how, 3-on-3 Freestyle is just, it's fast paced pretty much, Overall, I think it's a really good game compared to Dead by Daylight and Texas Chainsaw Massacre because it's fast paced. I think all 3 are definitely fast paced. Yeah, man, overall, man, 3-on-3 Freestyle has been my game ever since childhood, and, I don't know how I put it, but yeah, as someone who's played 3-on-3 Freestyle, man, for a while, I definitely want to thank these guys for definitely putting an effort in their game. I know Joy City may not be the best company, but this in my opinion would be the best game of 2025, because, I mean, other games are trash, man, let's be real. Most games in 2025 are doing really bad right now, if I'm being completely honest, dude. But, who knows, 2026, we might have a better future, where games will get better, and people will actually want to play them, and the games will actually have a good concept. But yeah, man, some disadvantages of this game, definitely got to be pay to win. I mean, sure, this game is pay to win, but you just have to like I said, they kind of they also have a little matchmaking system, so so it's not too difficult for the newbies to get good. But yeah, I mean, other than that, man, it should be pretty easy to counter pay to win too. Just have a good time when you play this game. It's not like extremely toxic or anything like that. Sure, you might have a guy or two who's toxic, but this game isn't like extremely toxic like Dead by Daylight, where people are extremely mean to each other. People are actually kind of friendly also in this game. They're asking me for today's video, man. I just want to thank this game for really just wasting my time on here, and I really appreciate what these guys do for the game. Frequent updates. It's really nice, man. But anyways, man, that's gonna be it for today's video, and peace out, man.